There is no accepting of that under any circumstance. Take everything else for a moment and set it aside and just look at that and say, humanity. We cannot stand by and allow children to starve to death. That's what this is about. It's not politics. It's not religion. It's not geopolitics or who has the right to exist or not. That is certainly a discussion that we must have. Right now it's about, are we going to stand by and allow children to starve to death? That's what's happening. That's what these sites do.
And Anthony, you're talking about children. I believe, tell me if I'm correct, that one of these children came up to you at one of these sites to thank you. And a war crime, yet another war crime happened, if I'm correct.
The entire apparatus of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation is a war crime in and of itself. The establishment of sites, active combat, the dehumanization, the complete departure of the aspects of humanitarian principles, it's a war crime in its existence. Specifically, shooting at unarmed civilians is a war crime. And that's not something that I'm just making an opinion about. That is verbatim out of international humanitarian law and the protocols that you mentioned. That is a war crime. This young boy, Amir, this was on the 28th of May at distribute site number 3, which is nearest to the southern edge of Khan Yunis. His father had been killed in an airstrike. He was separated from his family during that airstrike where his father was killed. And he was displaced and sent to the Khan Yunis UN encampment, where a family took him in as their own. On that day, he was going to site number 3, to get food with his adopted uncle. They were separated because the IDF were shooting into the crowd. He ended up on the site after distribution, and there was nothing left. He had in his arms just parcels of food, half a bag of rice. The child was malnourished and dehydrated, and he had no shoes. And he came up to us not to complain, not to threaten us, but to thank us. The contractor that was standing next to me, he kissed his hand, he kissed my hand, we spoke, and when he left, like so many others, not hundreds, but thousands of Palestinians that come to or leave these sites, he was gunned down. Outside of these sites, in, around, and outside of these sites, thousands of Palestinians have been killed by the IDF. And those that aren't picked up, or those that aren't taken to the hospital, or those that don't survive, whose bodies are left outside of these sites, are buried by the bulldozers that come in afterwards. And the United States has a direct hand in that. And that is the ugly truth. That is the ugly truth of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, and that the Israeli government will try to hide because it is so abhorrent, but they cannot hide it anymore. And we must take action against it to stop it, or it will continue.